Your Holiness, Pope Leo XIV, you have stepped into history, and history is watching. On behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and millions of faithful across our land, I congratulate you on your ascension to the papacy. May grace accompany you and may courage define you. The world has welcomed your voice with hope, but hope, Your Holiness, is not enough. Because the world, this fractured, burning, breathless world, has run out of patience for symbolic leadership, what we need now is moral clarity and moral courage and moral reckoning. So I write you from the heart of Africa, from the soil of a nation both wounded and awake, from a continent that still sings despite centuries of betrayal. I write not as a politician playing diplomacy, but as a leader burdened with truth. Because the world teeters at the edge, and Africa bruised but brilliantis, not simply watching. We are climbing, we are rising, we are bleeding, and we are asking questions louder than the canon law can ignore. Where was the church when foreign mercenaries disguised as missionaries sanctioned the plunder of our people? Where was Rome when puppet regimes were installed in the name of stability, when elections were rigged with foreign approval, when those who dared to speak were buried beneath silence? Where was the Vatican when young boys were handed rifles instead of rosaries? When peacekeeping missions doubled as military outposts? When our economies were hollowed out by loans packaged as salvation only to leave us starving, indebted, and blamed? Where was the church, Your Holiness, when our faith was used to pacify us while our dignity was auctioned off? Don't ask us to kneel without asking why our backs are broken. Don't ask us to pray when our prayers are met with sanctions and airstrikes. Don't ask us to forgive while the whip still rests in another man's hand. Because silence is no longer sacred and neutrality is no longer noble. If the church is to lead the world, it must first stop hiding from it. If your papacy is to matter, it must matter hearing the mud in the smoke, in the struggle of those too long unseen. You cannot preach peace while ignoring the profiteers of war. You cannot call for reconciliation without acknowledging the wreckage left by those who claim to act in God's name. This is not rage. This is sacred urgency. Africa does not ask for pity. Africa does not beg for applause. What we ask for, what we demand is truth. And truth begins with confession. That Christianity in Africa has been both balm and blade, that the church uplifted our spirits, yes, but often abandoned our bodies, that it comforted our grief while failing to condemn the hands that caused it, that it taught us the cross but was silent when the sword came. Redemption without reckoning is just rhetoric, and half-truths cannot heal nations. You sit now on Peter's chair, but remember, Peter denied Christ 3 times before the rooster crowed. Let the church not deny Africa again. Let the rooster crow across the Vatican. Let it echo through corridors of crimson and gold. Let it shake the marble and shatter the stained glass. Let it call the cardinals from their silence and the statesmen from their safe distances. Let it declare that the age of complicity is over. Because here in Africa, we are no longer waiting. We are not sheep who suffer in silence. We are lions who have learned to sing. We are the descendants of Nkrumah, of Biko, of Azikiwe, of Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. We are farmers who pray and protest in the same breath. We are workers who wear both the Bible and the Constitution on our chest. We are poets and presidents, mothers and martyrs. And we know that the kingdom of God cannot exist without justice on earth. So I ask you, Pope Leo XIV, will your papacy walk beside us not, just in sanctuaries, but in slums? Will it listen not only to choirs, but to cries from refugee camps and border crossings? Will it seek Christ not only in golden chalices, but in empty bellies? Will it preach peace and also name the enemies of peace? Will it comfort the afflicted? Yes, but also afflict the comfortable. Because if not now, when? If not you, who? Nigeria stands not with hands outstretched, but with fists unclenched, ready to build. We extend not submission, but partnership, not guilt, but invitation. We say to the church, join us in telling the full story, in facing the uncomfortable truths, in speaking not just to souls but to systems. Let your papacy mark a turning. Let it be remembered not for polite diplomacy, but for prophetic defiance. Let it side not with empire, but with those still healing from its wounds. We do not write to accuse, we write to awaken, to call you into deeper solidarity, a solidarity that walks barefoot with the poor, that condemns exploitation in Paris as loudly as in Port Harcourt, that names saints not only for their piety, but for their resistance. We await your voice not from balconies, but from the trenches, from the shelters, from the sweatshops, from the shores where migrants vanish into water deeper than despair. Because only a voice like your elevated, unshackled global can break the silence. And if you dare to speak, not only will Africa hear you, the world will rise to meet your words. We are ready to write the next chapter. We are ready to work together if the church will walk in truth. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, son of the continent, servant of the people.